Hey Dee, guess what I saw at the grocery store the other day? Thursday, the 30th of October.
Tell me.
Poinsettias in bloom, for sale.
You. No way. Were they orange again like last year?
No, no, I
I
haven't
mean,
seen those orange ones for several years. These were bright pink. The ones that have like the littler bracts.
yes, yeah, the little ones.
I'm like, what in the world? I nearly ran somebody down with me, rubbernecking to see that. I'm like, what?
Where was this?
At the Meyer grocery store. You don't have those in your neck of the woods.
We do not. We do not have those. And
Oh,
that's
this is a
okay.
great store, but and
Can't have everything.
they had Christmas cactuses, but you can call them Thanksgiving cactuses, and those aren't unusual. But poinsettias before Halloween,
That's crazy. Nothing says fall like an orange poinsettia or even a pink one.
nothing does. Why don't you get us started, Dee?
Welcome to the Garden Angelus, where we talk about flowers, veggies, and all the best dirt. I am Dee Nash from Guthrie, Oklahoma, and I still garden a really large garden out in the country.
And I'm Carol Michael from Indianapolis, Indiana. I have a suburban garden measured in square feet. It's about a third of an acre.
We are Garden Angelus because we love gardening and we want you to love it too.
Yes, we do, and we aren't afraid to spill all of our gardening secrets, the good, the bad, and even the ugly. But that's enough of. Wait, we didn't put that in there anymore. Let's move on to this week's episode. Hello, Dee.
Hey, Carol, didn't somebody say that we say that too fast? That we do the intro too fast now?
No, no, we read the quotes too fast, so we're going to try to slow
Oh,
those
so we're going to
down.
slow those down, but we don't have to slow down the intro because,
No.
man, we sped through it that time. All right, tell me about your garden. You have a lot more updates than I do.
Well, I went out yesterday. I collected seeds for the Signet marigolds, even though I had collected a bunch of seeds and then I collected some and gave them away when I did a talk for the Houses Society. I went out there and I got some from the yellow, and I don't know if they'll turn out yellow. And I labeled those yellow, and then I collected some more. And when I was out there, these ladies drove by. And it's like, do you know whose dog this is? And they had a dog in the back seat. I'd never seen it before, so I'm like, not mine. Move along. Anyway,
Yeah.
I did mow and pick up leaves, and I have one of the six beds now covered in leaves, so that's good. I went out on Halloween Friday and I planted the snowdrops, the winter aconites, the crocuses, reticulated irises. It sounds like I was really busy, but you know how small those bulbs are?
They're very small. It doesn't take long to plant them, which I
No, it
love.
doesn't.
I'll be honest. I'm at a stage in my gardening career because I have so many bulbs in the ground that I really enjoy those little bulbs.
Yes, the little bulbs are very
Ding, ding,
nice.
ding. You're done, right?
Yes, I had bought the I guess combo pack or whatever, and there were 100 of each type. And I saved back five snowdrops and five reticulated irises. I'm going to pot those up maybe this afternoon, stick them in the back of the fridge, and try to force those this winter. So
Fun, fun,
I
fun, fun.
planted, I picked lettuce out of my garden D. I pulled the last of the radishes. I think it's the last of the radishes. There might be one more row out there, but sowed some more microgreens, which you don't like. Tended to the geraniums out in the garage, which are doing fine. I do think I'm going to cut back on the amount of light I'm giving them. It's like they don't need a summer's length of light. I can cut that back a little bit, I think.
Right, right. Yeah.
So anyway, that's my gardening week, Dee.
I don't dislike microgreens. I just don't
You just
love
haven't found
them.
the right ones.
They're just okay. I actually like the pea ones. The ones that are peas, I think they're pretty good. They're really good for you.
Yes.
Okay, and huh?
I said
What?
yes.
How about in my garden? Would you like to hear?
I would like to hear, and I know what you were doing on Friday. Now, this is Sunday we're recording because you
Right.
texted me Friday and said you had conflicts, and I thought, is good weather a good conflict? I think it is.
Yeah, it's a good conflict. It was beautiful on Friday, a lot prettier than it is today. The sun's shining today on Sunday, but it's pretty cold. It was like the perfect day out there. And so we went out and worked really hard on Friday, clearing out all of my cut flower beds
Nice.
and got all that done. And then we mulched it all. And the mulch is all, I use the arborist chips.
Right.
And we're at the end of the season, and they're just like the best mulch ever
Oh,
right now,
yes. Oh, yeah.
because and so people will ask, why do you mulch in the fall? Well, I do that in some places because then the earthworms drag the stuff down into the soil and make it better.
Plus, it
No,
does help prevent what I call the winter weeds like chickweed and um, henbit, those things that like to germinate in late fall
I
and winter
I
over.
pulled a bunch of that out of my paths. I
Oh
sat
yeah.
down in the middle of the paths and just worked on it. It was awesome. In the sun. And by the way, so that people know, I'm a lot better than I was. Like all of a
Yes.
sudden in the last 2 months, that Zolair has kicked in and I'm myself again. And I can go out in the sun, which before caused me to flare. So
That is
yay.
good.
And then let's see, what else did I do? I took some more plants into the greenhouse. One of my great big plants in a very expensive pot. We had a big windstorm and it knocked it down and it broke into a million pieces. So,
Oh no.
yeah, and it's big. So I'm gonna have to find a great big pot for it. It's my great big jasmine that is on this tutor.
Right.
It's beautiful. And I love it and it smells good just when you need something to smell good about February, March, April. Um, so my son helped me by taking the side that wasn't broken and we got it into the greenhouse and I'll have to find a pot later. And then
So
let's
my
see.
suggestion for a great big
Yeah,
pot and you being an old lady like me,
I'm not an old lady. Neither are you. But go ahead.
I would get a great big one of those great big plastic pots or like at Sam's Club and Costco, they often have those really lightweight, but they're huge. I'd get one of those because some of them are pretty
Yeah,
nice looking. And, because if you get like the great big terracotta or you get the great big,
that's what this was, only it was an Italian pot. It was really
yeah, those are too big for us old ladies. So you go and get one of those lightweight ones. They've got some that look beautiful. Mine on my back patio are those lightweight ones. They've lasted for, I don't know, 10 years out there.
I mean, I'm not against those pots. They're fine. It's just this one was blue and white and had swirls. It was really pretty.
Oh,
Anyway, that's
sorry.
the way it goes. And so let's see, we did that, took in some more the big pots, and he was so nice to come do that. And then I'm just going to brag on him some more. He and his dad yesterday worked on that last section of our property that the burned trees are on,
Right?
and they cleared a bunch more of them out and he sawed up log after log after log, and so we're going to use that for firewood and it also looks better. So that's what I did, and I think that's pretty much it.
You know what? You did a nice job, Dee. I'm gonna congratulate you on getting out there and getting her
Yeah,
done.
I did, and I keep doing it. Next will be to clean up the kitchen border so that I can put my bulbs in, but they're not here yet, so we're good. All right, let's play favorites. What's yours?
So mine is gonna be, I wanted it to be autumn crocuses again because I must brag on those out in the back. They are beautiful. They have really multiplied. I am
Yeah.
gonna order some for, I put a note on my calendar for June 1st, 2026 to order a bunch to plant in the front. It'll drive the neighbors crazy to see those things out there, which will make me happy. But anyway, since I've done autumn crocuses before,
Things must really be dull in Indiana.
what? Lettuce from the garden in the fall. That's my favorite.
Yeah, mine didn't make it. It was too hot. It did not make it. So good for you. I'm happy. So mine is my nice, clean, cut flower raised beds. And I did a video on them. They're all mulched and they're ready for their winter nap.
Very nice. And I saw you have an Instagram reel where you talked about the greenhouse and where you got it and all that kind of stuff. So I saw that today.
I did two this week or three. And I posted two. I'm trying not to post every day. I don't feel like Instagram rewards you much for that. And
Instagram hates me. I mean, I put up
I
a
hate
reel because it
Instagram.
says do reels. I did a little reel about my
Did you?
children's books. And I swear because I didn't give it money, I didn't put any money in the kitty. It
Mhm.
showed that to like a tenth of what normally sees my stories and reels. I mean, it's just insane. I'm like, this is insane.
It is. It is. What was that famous quote? If you don't pay for the product, you are the product.
Exactly. And it's like
It's
it
true.
would not, I mean, like it showed it to 6 people. And
Oh,
normally I might
lovely.
get it seen by 60 people.
Good
So it
grief.
really throttled it back because it like, oh, she's trying to sell her books. We're throttling her back because she didn't give us money.
Creeps. All
Creeps.
right, so we have the question of the week from the listener and friend from your garden club, Sarah Z. I'll read the question, you answer it.
Okay.
I have a dilemma. My asters have taken over my garden. Yeah, they'll do that. I love their very late bloom, and the waning pollinators do too, but I'm failing to keep them from choking out everything else. Shrubs and even a Japanese maple. Only the mountain mint is giving a pushback. Do you think if I cut the flowers off as they die back, it will do any good to slow them down? Or will the running rampant underground, she's talking about the roots, and the
Right.
self-sowing is just an incidental issue? I could so tell her what to do, but you go ahead, Carol.
Well, I said cutting off the seed heads would be a big help. And at the time, I said, you need to go out and see if they actually are the kind with runners. And then she came back and she said, yeah, they're the Tartarian asters that run everywhere.
Yep.
Definitely has runners. So she said it might be a major dig out party in the spring. And I said, well, or cut them and put a little Roundup on them. Or her last option was to give up. And I wrote back and said, if we got a little bit of rain, which we got a third of an inch here. She lives on
Hmm.
the way other side of the city, so they may have gotten more or less. I don't know. Just start pulling it out. That's all you can do. Just start pulling those runners, little at a
Remember
time.
when I dug out the aromatic aster and then I put a piece
Yes.
of metal down? There's three asters. I mean, I grow a lot of asters, and there's three that are a real problem here. Um, the aromatics are bad, except for October skies. It's not so bad. And then Drummond's aster is a nightmare. I hate that thing. And then what's the other one? I had a third one. Can't remember right now. Anyway, there are problems, some of them, and the only thing you can do is dig out pieces of them
Right.
or round them up if you want to. So
I said, just pull those runners and just start pulling them out and throwing them away. So, and I,
the best way to dig them up, I found, is to just dig up a section you want to dig up.
yeah,
Don't dig up the whole plant and separate it like they did back in the old days, because all you're trying to do is reduce its size. So just dig around the outside because it's weaker there anyway.
right.
Sometimes
Or
they're weak in the middle because they've
yeah, they
exhausted all the
donut out.
resources. Yeah,
And if it was in my garden, I'd go around with a pitchfork and I'd just start sticking that pitchfork in there and kind of pulling up, and anything
wedging
that
it
sort of
out.
came loose, I'd tear it out.
Me too. Don't
So,
put it in your compost pile because then you'll have asters in there.
yeah, that's a good tip, Dee. Anyway, I would
Insect
not
of the
give up.
week. Yuck. You picked a really yucky one.
Well, I couldn't think, and I'm like, the insect community. Let's see, the insects. Okay. Mosquitoes is what I picked.
I think this is a great question. I do not know the answer.
Where do they go in the wintertime?
Nowhere.
That's correct. They don't go anywhere. So,
They're always with us, like
mosquitoes survive
ticks.
the winter by entering a dormant state, and that dormant state, D, is called diapause. Either as
Yes, it's
adult,
the same thing that butterflies do.
yes, they either diapause as adult females in sheltered areas or as eggs that can withstand freezing temperatures. Then, when spring arrives, the temperature goes up. They suddenly come out of diapause to continue their life cycle.
Lovely.
So they're never
Creeps.
gone.
They're like ticks
Yes, and so all this leave the leaves, protect the pollinators, blah, 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 and the mosquitoes too,
and the ticks.
and the ticks.
Yeah, I won't be leaving the leaves. I don't use leaf mold anymore. Nope, nope, nope.
Aren't you going to have your crew suck them all up and take them away?
I have them blow them to the edge of the property is what I
There you
do.
go.
Because then they still decay, but they're just not in my deal. Yeah, they come and do that. It takes them all day. That's how many trees I have still.
Oh, I can imagine. I will be managing leaf fall for the next month.
Yeah. We have two leaf falls. We have one in like about now, and then we have another one in late winter, early spring. Yeah, there's a lot of leaves here, even after
Yes.
the fire. Shall you read the quote slowly?
Yes. Some of the days in November carry the whole memory of summer as a fire opal carries the color of moonrise. And that is Gladys Tabor.
Who we really enjoy her quotes. We use them quite a bit.
Yes. I don't
She's a
know.
lost lady, isn't she?
She is.
Yeah.
She is or she will be. I, I'd have to look
There's
to
so
see if
many now.
there's probably 50 that I've written about, so pardon me if I don't remember all of them. I'll take a
It's
quick look
okay.
while you tell us about why don't you sing a little bit to tell us about the theme or
I'm not
not?
singing. The sun shines bright within my heart, deep in the heart of Texas.
Oh, I wanted you to sing
Texensis.
it.
Okay. I don't know if I can get it. I don't know if I can get the tune.
Okay, don't. By the way, I
I
have not
can't.
written about Gladys Tabor yet.
It goes deep in the heart of Texas. I know that. Okay. Is that good enough?
That is good enough. I haven't written
The
about
sun
Gladys yet.
shines
She's on my
bright
list.
within my heart, deep
Deep
in
in
the
the
heart
heart of That's
of
enough singing.
Texas.
We're not
Okay, we're done
singers.
now. Okay. So we're talking about Texensis today. And then you said,
I said, remember when we met in person in Texas at the Austin meeting of the first ever Garden Bloggers Fling?
how could I forget that, Carol? That's awesome. I mean,
Um,
how funny we met all those years ago. That was
uh-huh.
2007. It was right after I started my blog. Have we known
Uh,
each other that long?
I think the first fling was in 2008.
Yeah, it was 2007 or 2008. And I was a big fan of yours, and then I started my own blog, and then we all went to the very first Garden Bloggers Fling in Austin, Texas at Pam's invitation, and it was so much fun.
It
I
was a
was
lot
so
of fun. And do
nervous.
you remember, though,
Yeah.
in the Austin Statesman, they put an article out about the fling because we all got over the idea that we were axe murderers waiting to kill each other and, met in person because that was back in the early
Well,
internet
back then,
days.
nobody even told who they were online,
Exactly.
you know? Nobody, everybody had names for everything else, and
They
I
wrote an
think
article and you and I were featured.
we were quoted in the article.
Yes.
And the lady who wrote the article was one of my favorite garden authors. And so it was just the best ever. All right, so on that note, the first plant we're going to talk about is probably my favorite Texas plant, and it's Lupinus Texensis. I like to say Texensis, even if I am in Oklahomaensis. Okay, Texas bluebonnets or Texas lupin. That is one of the state flowers of Texas. One of the state is the yellow rose of Texas, the other one.
You
I
know
bet
what?
it's the state. I bet it's the state wildflower.
Yes, and I'll tell you, when we went to Austin, I remember it was early April and the bluebonnets had pretty much finished blooming, so they kind of
Hmm.
struggled to show us Northerners what was so exciting about
We had
Texas
found some in
bluebonnets.
we found some in a parking lot. It was like in the corner of a parking lot. Now, Bill and I took a trip, I don't know, a few years ago and drove all over Texas and just that's what we did was bluebonnet hunt and it was the best trip ever.
They
So
have
that was really
bluebonnet
fun.
trails.
Yeah, 412 is one of them if I remember right. So I can grow bluebonnets here, but they don't really overwinter. And the secret to bluebonnets, am I saying bluebonnet? Is that right? Texas
Yeah,
bluebonnet?
yeah,
Okay. It doesn't sound right to me right now, but I'm tired today. It's the change in the time deal.
exactly.
Anyway, so the Texas bluebonnets, what's cool about them is you have to have good rainfall in September to get a good bloom the next spring. And so it just depends on what kind of deal you have. And by the way, in my garden, we had 5 inches of rain this past week.
Yeah,
Isn't
we
that
had a third of
crazy?
an inch.
That's crazy for both of us. Okay, so they're really cool. And sometimes they come in pink, but most of the time they come in blue.
Right. And I was just looking at the link you sent to, and we'll probably find a link on Missouri Botanic Garden, but it says they're an annual, and they actually it's kind of one of those annuals that sort of starts in the fall and
Mm-hmm.
has to have all, like you said, the rain and everything.
Yeah.
They just they're just not going to be a thing in Indiana. They're just not.
They would, well, they wouldn't make it, but they are one of the few lupins or the only lupin that can handle alkaline soil because usually they want
Mm.
acidic soil. So the next thing is Carex texensis, which is Texas sedge. It's very common in central Texas.
Sedges have edges
That's how you know they aren't grasses. And you don't trim back sedges, you comb them. I learned that the hard way.
because you cut them back.
I did, and they died. It was very sad. And so we got some information about that from Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center, which is a great place to learn about all plants of Texas and a lot of Oklahoma. So that's kind of cool.
It is, and they use this a lot as a turf substitute, it says, for dry and moist shade. Again, this is not one that Carol is going to grow. That's the theme today. Let's talk about plants that Carol's not going to grow. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
It says it does grow in Indiana.
there you go. Who
Well,
knew?
I declare, or it might be southern Indiana.
Yeah, where they stop collecting
Yeehaw,
from the
yeehaw, and
sun.
all that, huh?
Okay, Clematis texensis, scarlet clematis, a small flowered climber that is native to Texas that has distinctive deep red or orange red. It says tulip shaped flowers, but I would have thought tubular, but tulip,
No,
okay.
they are tulip shaped. I'm looking at a
I
picture of
believe
them.
you.
These are awfully pretty, Dee.
I know, they are pretty. I've
And
never seen one in person.
you can grow it in my zone.
Woohoo, that's exciting.
I would be tempted.
Well,
So this one is it's in the third group of clematis, and you know clematis are grouped by when they flower and blah blah blah, whether on new growth or old growth.
yeah.
This one flowers in late summer on growth made in that season. So this is one you could whack it all the way back, and then
Uh-huh.
it would in the spring or late winter, it would come up, and then you would get some beautiful flowers in late summer. And I suspect that this is also used as a parent plant in developing a lot of hybrids. That's my guess.
Probably.
That's my
I would
guess.
guess so too.
By the
All
way,
right.
toxic to dogs, toxic to cats, and toxic to horses.
I think bluebonnets are too, but don't quote me on that. Shall I do the quote? We're done with the flower section.
Are we done already?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay.
November comes and November goes with the last red berries and the first white snows. Clyde Watson.
You ever get snow in November?
Vegetables.
Do you get snow in November, Dee?
Not usually. Sometimes December, but no, not usually. It's not cold enough yet. Now, when I was a kid, sometimes, but it's not as cold as it was. All right, vegetables. We couldn't find very many.
No.
So we found this one, and this one tree kind of irritates me, and I'll explain why in a minute. It is Cercis canadensis variety texensis, and then the name variety of that is Oklahoma. And it just feels like, I'm sorry, my Texas friends. I know we have a lot of you as listeners, but you just can't have everything.
No. No.
It's the
And this
red
is
bud.
this is the Texas red bud. And why did we put this in the vegetable section, Dee?
Because people make the blooms are edible and people make beautiful jelly out of them. It
Mm-hmm.
makes a gorgeous jelly.
It's in the pea
And
family.
it's a beautiful plant. And winter, you're just so glad it's over when it blooms. And then the next one was Calabrina texensis, which is the Texas hog plum.
I have never heard of this. I've never heard of a hog plum in all my life. I got to go look this up.
I've never heard of it. I wonder if it's a relationship with the Mexican plum, but I didn't do any research on it, so I don't know.
I will tell you about it, Dee. So it's in the buckthorn family.
Oh, then
Buckthorn,
it's not
buckthorn, Rhamnaceae.
buckthorns.
Small
Mm-hmm.
thicket-forming shrub with a rounded crown and a snakeskin-like pattern on the bark.
Interesting.
I do not
They
see a need to plant
No, I
this
think it
hog
just grows
plum.
wild in Texas, and stuff that grows wild in Texas is tough.
Yeah, it would get about 6 feet tall, it says. And let me see. I don't think I could grow it here.
Mm,
I'm trying to find
probably
the
not.
hardiness zone. Oh, they don't, they just don't put the hardiness zones out here.
I don't think they care
No, not at the Ladybird Wildflower Center that we have been to twice.
because they're in Texas, so they're just worried about their zone. So the last thing that we talked about, I think, in this topic is the Texas red oak, and it is Quercus texana, which is kind of fits into the Texensis. And
Well, and
so
acorns are edible.
acorns are edible because our friend actually makes food from acorns. So, it's a big, huge red oak, and it's
Yes.
native to Texas and Missouri. So there's
Yes.
another one.
And so it could be. it could have the common name of Missouri red oak.
No, because no, nobody was up there looking for stuff, I guess. It feels like there were a lot of plant hunters in Texas, and whoever gets there first got to name it.
That's true. And so when they got there first in Texas, Texensis.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Oh, yes. So we've exhausted Texensis, and I think have we exhausted the idea of using species names to group plants together and talk about them,
I think
Dee?
so. I think
Unless we
so.
come up with some.
Unless we think of another one that we think is especially good.
I thought of one, but then I only found one plant.
Really? What was it?
Cardinalis, named after the cardinal.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I
And
don't.
there was only one. It's a wildflower. It's the, oh gosh, I have to look it up now.
So it's red, I assume, right?
Yeah, I'll have it here for you in a minute.
Okay.
It is, um, oh, there's two because I just
We
looked
could
it
do
up.
it next week.
No, no, there's one that's got the species name of Cardinalis and one that's got the
Okay.
genus name of um, Cardinalis. I was
Okay.
thinking of the one that had the genus name. We'll just slip it in here because there's only one, and it
Okay.
will bring up a plant that I can actually grow.
Cool.
And that is and it's hard to, when you look this up, it wants to show you all these things. It's the lobelia, the cardinal
Oh,
lobelia.
I grow that too.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I could
I
grow it.
wondered
I
if
don't
it
have it.
was.
I don't have a lot of
It's
red in my
Lobelia
garden.
cardinalis, right?
Yes,
Yeah, because it's red.
yes, like a
It's very
cardinal.
pretty. It grows well here with water in the shade.
Yes, I would think so.
It does really well
And
here. And it's
I
really
don't have
pretty.
it. It is pretty if you like red flowers, and I don't mean that I don't like red flowers. They just don't fit into my themes. So,
Yeah, I don't have themes. I just have a big old messy garden. All right, ready? Do the quote.
the rest of my room is bookshelves. I hoard books. They are people who do not leave. And that is Anne Sexton.
I like it.
Although
So, uh,
I've made a bunch of books leave and took them to Half Price Books and said, "You
yeah,
guys
they
got
have
to
to leave.
go. I need more shelf
We get
room."
so many books. Okay, this is this week's book. It is The Vibrant Harvest, Cultivating a Kaleidoscope of Colors in Your Vegetable Garden with Heirlooms, Modern Hybrids, and More by Sandra Mao of Sandra Urban Garden. And it comes out on December 2nd.
Yes, and this is from our friends at Corto Press, and we want to thank them for the review copies. This is a very colorful and delightful book, Dee.
It's very pretty. And if you ever wanted to grow beautiful vegetables that have lots of color, this is your book, which I did. I do that because I like color. I grow a lot of
Yes.
colorful stuff.
And it's for amateurs, beginners, professional gardeners can all find some useful information. She's got if a vegetable has a color other than green, let's say, she is telling you about it.
Yeah, and there's it starts out with root vegetables. And so
Yes.
she has them by sections. And there's flowers in here too. There's root vegetables, stem vegetables, and then I saw flowers. She says leaf vegetables, which is great because you get the purple kale in there, the lettuces that are red, the radicchio, Malabar spinach, and then there are
Right.
herbs,
And
and
they
then
talk
lots
about
of
eating a
flowers.
colorful plate of food to get more
Yeah,
nutrients. Oh, that's beautiful. That's Dee is showing a picture of the various colors of cauliflower. And is that mostly cauliflower and
yeah, I'd
broccoli?
say it's all cauliflower except for
Oh,
the bottom one.
nice.
Yeah, it's
But
beautiful.
she wrote, rainbow vegetables are a nutrient-dense food that offer a range of health benefits when incorporated into a balanced diet.
And right
Partic
in the beginning of that, look,
yeah,
it's your purple sprouting broccoli.
yeah.
Okay,
We
sorry, keep going.
we grew that. Well, it says they are
We
particularly
tried.
rich in vitamins A, C, and E, as well as iron, calcium, potassium, and fiber. Purple kale, rainbow Swiss chard, and carrots are excellent sources of vitamin A. Rainbow and other varieties of tomato are especially rich in vitamin C. And so it is true. You
Yum.
want colorful vegetables. I do
Yeah, they're
like
better
it.
for you. It's a beautiful book. So great plants,
Yeah,
good pictures,
I
good
had
information.
one tiny little thing was I was reading through. She talks about how you put in your raised bed layering, and she would put a layer of cardboard in, and we would not put a layer of cardboard in. I think that is maybe new information that hasn't reached everybody yet, but
Yeah, we did that on the time before the last episode, right?
right,
Wasn't it two
right.
episodes ago where we talked about why cardboard is a problem now? It's because it's got all this stuff in it.
Yes. So yeah, all cardboard, like we said, and I talked about that at the Hospice Society,
Uh-huh.
and one member said, you know, a lot of that cardboard is coming to us from China, and we have no idea how they made it in China.
Uh-uh.
And with all the recycling and stuff, we don't want to go down that rabbit hole again. But anyway, this is a very good book, and we are pleased to get review copies and present it to
Yeah,
our
it's a good one.
listeners. Vibrant Harvest, cultivating a kaleidoscope of colors in your vegetable garden with heirlooms, modern hybrids, and more by Sandra Mao. And we will link to that, and we will also link to her on Instagram, which is where I think she got her start.
I think it is too. I think she's an influencer. Okay, next quote. Fallen leaves lying Fallen leaves lying on the grass in November sun bring more happiness than the daffodils. And that's by Cyril Connolly. And Carol says,
I disagree. I
I do
don't think
too. I mean, I
nothing
think they're
beats
pretty,
daffodils. I
but
mean,
you can't beat daffodils. I'm sorry. Okay, dirt, pollen banking.
yes, and this came to us from one of my garden writing friends, and maybe you have met her too on Substack. In her article, she talked about how some seeds, especially I think for tropical plants, would not survive in those seed banks where they've got the temperature down at freezing. And
Right.
so instead of banking the seed, they are trying to save the pollen. And we're going to link to an article about how they do that and what they're doing with the pollen and how they're using it, especially with tropical plants to try to save the uh, gene bank or whatever of these plants.
The genetic information.
Yes. So anyway,
That's
it's a
very
pretty extensive
interesting.
article with lots of pretty pictures and um, even it says like oak seeds don't tolerate drying required for long-term storage. And so that's another place. They've got a global oak pollen bank,
Yeah, a separate one.
a separate one. And so it's really,
Hmm.
really interesting if you're into seed saving and want to follow what they're doing to try to save all the plant genomes and things. You might look into pollen banking.
There you go. And then you also brought up something about your favorite Crayola crayon
This
colors.
is not my favorite. This just came across my Instagram that Crayola crayons. You remember buying boxes of crayons when you were a kid?
Oh my gosh, if you got a box of crayons, that was very
If you got
special.
the 64 pack, you were something.
Hmm.
Anyway, they did a worldwide survey to figure out the favorite colors, and they got 183 countries responded. I didn't even know there were 183 countries, D.
Well, of course there are.
I would have guessed 140 countries. But
Oh,
anyway,
really? Okay.
the colors are cerulean, robin's egg blue,
I
and
mean, who
wisteria.
doesn't love that? I love Robin Eggs Blue. Robin Egg Blue. They're
Yes.
all pretty. They're all very pretty
Yes.
colors.
And so
I like
watching
them.
2026, they're going to have special crayon packs and coloring books that incorporate these new colors or these favorite
That's
colors.
cool.
And then if you go and I didn't find this website, I just found it on Instagram. But I looked at their other website and they have colors by country if you want to look to see like the favorite in the United States, the favorite in England, blah, blah, blah. It's just fun.
It is fun. You know what else is fun? The next quote.
How well Isaac knew the scents of autumn and the butterfly touch of falling leaves upon his face. Sad or happy as his mood might be, winter, spring, and summer did not accommodate themselves to one's mood as autumn did. They lacked its gentleness. And that is by Elizabeth Goudge in the book The Dean's Watch.
Love Elizabeth Googe.
Yes.
Her
Falling
writing's
leaves upon your
beautiful.
face.
Okay, and so our rabbit holes. All right, here's my rabbit hole. I'm going to try to explain this. All right, I play that game with a doctor, among other people, with a doctor in Bulgaria. I don't think he listens to our podcast. He does follow me on Instagram. And one day he came on and he said, I have something for you. And I said, what's that? And he goes, I remembered a story, and it's Gianna Roderi and the Flowers of Little Ida, which is by Hans Christian Andersen. And so I just thought that was really sweet. That's my rabbit hole, was you and I trying to go down and figure out, because he's Bulgarian. And so when he translated it, we couldn't figure out exactly the name of the author. We eventually found it, and it was quite the rabbit hole. Does that make
Well,
sense?
it does. The other part of the rabbit hole was Gianni Roderi, who he thought was the author, is
Actually, is
an,
the author of other ones.
yes, he's a famous Italian children's book author.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a book of his last week, which is about the themes of children's books, which I may or may not keep. It's a little bit, but anyway, I just thought that
Mm-hmm.
was funny. We both talked about this obscure Italian children's
Well,
author.
we did it right at the same time. We were planning something, and I said, "Hey, Bob mentioned this guy," and you go, "Oh my gosh, I have this book out here," and it was just like this sync. What is the word? Synchronicity. Sync.
Serendipitous.
We'll say serendipitous. That'll work. And so it was kind of fun. But the actual story is The Flowers of Little Ida, and it's by Hans Christian Andersen.
We'll have to look that up.
But Gianni Roderi also does a lot of children's fables. So
Yes. Yes, indeed.
anyway, so just can you imagine trying to like figure that out from Bulgarian to English back to Italian and then over to Hans Christian Andersen, which is I think the Netherlands. Woo! It was a
Yes,
worldwide thing for there a minute. Okay, what are
exactly.
yours?
So I did write about Harriet Clamroth Morse.
These
She's a lost,
names. Clamroth. What the
well,
heck?
her
That had
father
to have
was
been her maiden name, right?
Clamroth was her maiden name.
Okay.
Her middle name was actually May, but when she got married, she changed
She
it
took it
to
as her middle name
yes. And so
because
her
women used to do that. So,
right.
like, if I had done that, it would have been D. Artimer Nash, and I would have dropped Anne, which is my actual middle name. And my sisters-in-law, because their mother was older, they don't have middle names because
Huh.
she said you'll get married and you'll just take Nash as your middle name. Anyway, back to Dear Harriet here.
So Dear Harriet, she wrote a book called Gardening in the Shade by H.K. Morse. So she didn't even put her actual name on there.
That happened a lot too. Yeah.
And it was very good. And like I told you last week, and maybe our listeners remember, her first book was about Elizabethan pageantry costumes.
Yeah, and she's an American, which we were
Yes.
like,
Her
okay.
husband was a famous architect.
Wow, these people, they're so
And
educated, so smart.
yes, well, she went to the New York School of Design and then
Yeah.
went to the Carnegie School of Drama.
Wow.
And so she was really into costumes. And until she married Henry, that's what she spoke about to groups was about old costumes and things like that. And then she got married and must have started a garden. And next thing you know, she's writing the book on shade gardening. It's so good, Dee, that Timber Press in 2009 republished it.
That is cool.
So anyway,
She was a very smart lady. And then
yes,
you've gone down some rabbit holes on learning how to use Substack even better,
yes. And so,
which your
hope,
friend has no interest in using Substack better, but I'm going to try. I just don't care.
well, this winter, if you get bored and you want to call me up and say, Carol, how to use it better, I might help you. I might not.
You would totally help me
I would totally help you.
because you love me. I'm your friend. Okay, and then you did something else. My goodness, I just had one.
I know,
What'd
but
you
I've
have
been
on?
reading these unselected journals of Emma C. Lyon, which are fiction, but it's
Uh-huh.
epistolary, which is my favorite kind of fiction. I'm on,
Letters.
Huh?
Letters,
Well,
epistolary, letters,
these are her journal entries. I'm on
or
volume
journal
3.
entries.
There are
Okay.
8 volumes, Dee. I'm on volume
Wow.
3. They're lighthearted, they're very amusing, they're very quirky. She lives in a very quirky area of London with all kinds of strange shenanigans going on. It's just,
Love it. They
they're
sound
just,
delightful.
they are delightful. And, you just kind of, I just read a couple of days each night and instead of looking at a screen, they're very nice. I got the actual
Yeah,
physical
you're
books.
much better than I am. I made an avatar. I mean, that's all I did. I mean, I didn't do anything other than that. And
Oh,
work in the
okay.
garden. Okay, go ahead.
Let's
Making
do our,
avatars is fun, by the way. All right, garden commissions. Are you
what was
ready?
the avatar for, the game?
Yeah, it's me. I made a gardener avatar. That fits into
Oh,
the podcast. I put her on my story on Substack. The funny part is she started out with a trowel, but every time I had the AI change something, like I have one of my Russian blue cats in there, I mean different things, right?
you,
Lighten up the background, things like that. All of a sudden I have a knife. So I decided it's a hoary hoary knife.
okay. So I missed it on your stories. I don't know how I would miss something.
It's on yesterday and
I
today.
missed
So
it. So I and the
we'll put a
listeners,
picture of it in there.
yes,
That's
we
fine.
beg you to put a picture in the newsletter.
Of course, no problem. All right, so garden commissions. I need to plant my garlic and I need to water my house plants badly. They're they're dying right behind my back. They're yelling out to me as we speak. And need to plant my garlic, or I may not have garlic next year, except for from the store.
Uh,
For some reason, I just don't want to do it. I don't know why.
that's funny because a lot of times there's something you don't want to do, and then you do it, and it took you all of like 10 minutes, and you're thinking,
Right.
I've
It's
wasted too much mental energy on trying to get this thing done, and it took me 10 minutes.
like doing the dishes, you know?
Well, I had some nicked up some places beside my garage where the mower goes in and out. And I mean, I had the pain. How long does it took me all of 10 minutes by the time I did it. I've been thinking about it for months. Finally got the paint out, stirred it up and slapped it on there and cleaned up those nicked areas. It's
And it
crazy.
was no big deal. I
No
know,
big
crazy.
deal.
Okay, what's your garden commission? What are you gonna do?
Well, we're supposed to have
Ooh,
nice days this coming week. I mean, getting up into the low 60s.
those are
So
nice.
I'm gonna pull the flowers out by the mailbox and plant the tulip bulbs. I gotta clear out the rest of the vegetable garden beds, evict those sad frost wearied plants. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna clean up the patio and stow it away. Basically, everything I need to do in the garden to get ready for winter, other than managing all the leaves as they fall on the lawn. That's what my goal is to get done this week. And
Okay.
when I go to Costco, I gotta be on the lookout for waxed amaryllis bulbs. They'll show up anytime.
It's time. It's time. I'm ready. I used to not like those, but now I love them. You know what? You just set them on the cabinet and enjoy
I
them.
love them. I'll probably buy a lot of them.
Yeah, they're very enjoyable. Okay, is it your turn to do the we do not care?
It is my turn, and it's from our listener June. She sent this in, and we said that is absolutely in the spirit of it all. Ready?
Ready.
I do not care if it is the formal dining room, the living room, the kitchen, the master bedroom, your bedroom, the bathroom. It has the best winter sun, and my houseplants have to go there for the next few months. Bravo, June.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That was wonderful. Okay, I
It
guess it's
was.
my turn to wrap us up. I always go
Yes, it
first.
is. Yes, you do.
Thank you for listening to the Garden Angelus. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. We publish every week on Wednesdays at 12 a.m. Eastern Time.
If you subscribe to our Substack newsletter, you get a link to listen to the podcast a whole day early, and you get links to the products we discuss. Plus, go over to YouTube and see us in person. Full episodes show up on Tuesdays. So, if you can't wait until Wednesday, you now have 2 ways to get episodes on Tuesdays.
And if you would like to help support us, use our affiliate links. If you buy something after clicking through on them, we earn a small commission, literally pennies sometimes, and it costs you nothing extra.
But those pennies add up. Or you can set up a monthly subscription through Buzzsprout, or you can make a one time donation through PayPal. You also have the option of pledging your support on Substack.
Thank you to everyone who has done so. It helps us pay for podcast hosting.
It was lovely to chat with all of you over the garden gate. Bye until next week.
Bye, everybody.